Hey guys, I want to keep today's watch list video a little shorter than they've been this week, mainly because the market breadth and leveling that we've been looking at all week remains the same. So we can review it very quickly here. Looking at the SPY, my no trade long zone that I've got grayed out here still does hold up. Okay, I want to get above the 9, which aligns with this local top we've had here, all week, and also where we closed on Monday. But that 680 area, when I say area, I mean area. Okay, $1 higher, $1 lower, whatever it may be. I prefer $1 higher if we're looking to trigger. Let it get through the area and build above it, okay? It's not, does it poke its head up over the area, buy everything? No, guys, what I mean is let's clear the area and then, maybe on the 15-minute or the hourly, see a build above or a move above that holds and sustains. Move down into the lower time frames when we trigger on the daily and see moves above that area that hold and sustain. So for example, what do I mean by this? Yesterday, when we popped up into that 680 area, looking like we were going to remount the 9, well, we stalled right at it. We were vertical in it, and then we stalled into it. And look what we did. The market rolled over and then closed it low of the day. So it had trouble at the area. Just because it gets there doesn't mean green light, let's go, okay? Let's see the price action. Let's get our confirmation through the area. And what does that look like? Again, for me, it means moving over to the lower time frame, the 5-minute, the 15-minute, okay? And what I would have liked to have seen is a move through this area and then a build above it, okay? Even if we went vertical through the area, I would have wanted it, we didn't do this, but I would have wanted it to pull back and hold that area. We could have bought that move. That would have been a very strong look. But instead, guys, we just went right into that area of significance of resistance and stalled out, okay? And then looking over here at our market internals, it was very reflective of that price action. We moved up into it and then began to stall out. We stopped getting inflow buy-side volume and rolled. We stopped having stocks advancing. We gapped up on the day and then just went sideways. And then we began to roll right before the market rolled. Here, okay, that was at, at 11:50 we rolled, but at about 10:30 we stalled and started going sideways, stopped having stocks making new highs on the day. We stalled and started going sideways, and at about 11:45 we began to roll. Okay, that would have been my signal. It was my signal to leave it alone, okay? We just popped up into resistance and we stalled out. I need a new show of strength, which didn't come. Instead, we rolled. So I made the decision, I'm not interested right now. And then the market rolled. And then, I fell asleep on the couch on accident. But had we seen a move through that level and the ADD, the ad here, was moving higher, showing that more and more and more stocks are making new highs on the days, then I would have been interested in a move through that level. But we just simply didn't get it. So I pumped the brakes and walked away for the day. Fell asleep on the couch again. That was surprising to me. I don't normally do that. I'm here at the desk. But anyways, guys, I am making currently, I just paused the edit to jump in and do the watch list video for the day, but I'm making a video specifically on market internals. I've begun to get more and more questions on this. So I'm making a video. I'm going to release it on YouTube later this evening. So keep an eye out for that. It's, I'm halfway through the edit. I'm happy with it. So most of my grid remains the same. I'm still looking at hood through 125 on a weekly triple R trigger. I am still looking at Google here on a retracement reaction and a remount. What is our reaction? The prior all-time high breakout level. All right, we're getting possibly a reaction off of that, a remount of the 9. I'll zoom in here, Google. On the daily here, all right, we're looking for a remount of the 9 for a trigger on Google for us here. Guys, I also need the market to make a show of strength above the 680 level, okay? Not again, just touch it. I want it to move through and sustain. Show me follow through on the intraday chart over 680, okay? And also I want my market internals, watch that video today to see what exactly I'm looking for, but I want advance and follow through in my market internals when the market is above 680, okay? Not going into it, above. And I still do like JCI for a move back up towards highs. We've had plenty of triggers here, but it is still holding structure. I really do like this, with plenty of time before earnings. I think we can see new highs before earnings with, help from the market. We want the market at our backs. We want the momentum of the market at our backs if we're going to be positioning into something, especially with a multi-week, multi-month mindset. All right, we want to make sure that we're breaking out in the market, not continuing the chop that we've been in. So I need a remount of 680 and then follow through. And really quickly, one that I'm really watching closely is IWM, because we're looking at a multi-year breakout to all-time highs here in small caps. And what has happened here is a breakout, and we pulled back, retested that level. We're holding structure. Look, we've not broken this recent swing low. We're still above the 50. 50, which is sloping up, okay, back through the 252 area on the IWM chart is going to get me into TNA. If the market does what I want, if we have broad buying throughout, the RSP's popping off, IWM's popping off, SPY, the Qs, internals, full market participation, broad buying, then I'm very likely to take TNA as my trade vehicle for the IWM chart for small caps. This is the 3x leveraged ETF for small caps, okay? And I'll likely just get shares on this. I might consider a contract, but I don't think you need that additional leverage. It's already 3x leverage. So I'm looking at IWM through 252 with the market moving in the way that we'd like to see. I'm looking at TNA probably through the 49 area if IWM triggers. And lastly, I want to touch on the space here. I don't know why I find that so funny. I want to touch on the space sector, space exploration, space defense, hot sector right now. I've been saying for at least a couple of weeks now, hey, keep an eye on this space. Back when the Google CEO and Sam Altman, the OpenAI CEO, a couple of weeks ago in the same week said, we're going to put data centers in space. Then Elon confirmed it last week. And now yesterday, Trump signed an executive order to say we're going to get back to the moon. And then on Mars by 2030, just all kinds of heat coming into the space. So Rocket Lab has been a tough one to get into. I'd rather look at this on the daily. Tough one to get into because it's sort of front running the potential move in the market. Would have loved to have seen this stay below. But look, it's a triple R trigger that happened yesterday, so we can take a look at this today. It might be running away from us. And if that is the case, then I'll look over to sympathy plays. We can look at PL, and I don't want to look at this on triple R because we gapped up on earnings and we've not pulled back below the moving averages. So this wouldn't be a triple R trigger for me, but this does fit my peg play model. Okay, so power earnings gap. And for me, the way that I trade a peg play is I set a fixed range volume profile and an anchored VWAP. The fixed range volume profile is this darker shaded gray, and there's a black dotted line that is the point of control, highest volume within our fixed range. I want price trading above it and the anchored VWAP, and I want the anchored VWAP to be sloping up. I think if we clear yesterday's high, this is a beautiful peg play trigger in a hot sector for me that I will be looking at. I don't trade peg plays as often, but this is very attractive to me. We got the gap up before the masses started talking about this narrative. So we have fundamental price action supporting the now narrative. I really do like this. This is pretty high up on watch along with that TNA trade for me here today. A couple other sympathies for the space is RDW. And I also do want to say that you guys are, if you've been here for more than one video, you know I like to trade the leaders in a trend backed by growing fundamentals. 5 of my models are based on that. They're trend continuation entries on the leaders. But my 6th that I don't mention that often here is called a narrative play. Literally, I'm not making this up. Okay, it's just perfect timing. And what I look for there is a change in character on volume aligned with the narrative. Right now, the space narrative is really picking up steam and we're getting our change of character on volume. So I then start to look for entry models. Typically I will roll my triple R into that. So we're trying to triple R here on volume and a change of character. This is actually attractive, even though it's been a dud here, for a while, for looks like maybe even years. But this could be the change in character that gets this guy back onto track. Yeah, not a beautiful chart here on the weekly either, but look at this volume, okay? This is called positioning, all right? We're not the first to know about the space exploration narrative, and we don't want to be. We don't want to be the first ones to the party, okay? I love it when I see that the move has already begun, okay? And when I see this sort of volume, this is institutional, okay? This is not retail. This is institutional positioning. I love to see them do it before me because now I know I've got their backing. And typically when these things go on sale, they step in and add to their position, okay? And that's what allows these things to change character and then hold structure. I don't want pop-ups that get faded. I want a pop-up that retraces, reacts, and remounts. God, all this shit comes together. All right, Fly is another one that we've got. Let's go to the daily here. Nasty look there on the weekly, I will not lie. But look, guys, we are possibly going to change character here back over the 50. This is going to be somewhat attractive to me if the narrative gets some legs. Yeah, back over the 50 for me here is a triple R trigger on a change in character. I'd like a little more volume as well, but I think it will take that volume to clear the 50. All right, it looks like the first attempt got stuffed. So if we get over the 50, this is something that's got a lot of room above. All right. Again, I would say this kind of high beta stuff, do control your size. Last one here for sympathy, really very similar look here. Back over the 50, this begins to get attractive. And also, let me finish with this, guys. We don't have to buy the first remount because look how that went right here. You can let it get above, okay, change character, break this downtrend, let price get above it, and get the first triple R after, okay? That is waiting for confirmation, as I always say to do, waiting for confirmation above the inflection point, which in this case is our change of character. All right, guys, so don't feel like you have to be the first one to the party on this stuff. I think the space narrative is going to stretch into 2026. All right, it could become a leading theme, but there's a few names to be tracking. Guys, I am running a live session tomorrow where I teach my triple R model in a condensed fashion, teach you what it is, why it matters, and we're going to identify leaders for the week and do our market breadth analysis. I'm going to build the plan for the week ahead live with you guys and offer a AMA where I will answer anything for those of you that have been hanging out for a while. I do appreciate it. And I've been getting some emails and some questions. So this is your opportunity to come hang out and ask me anything you would like, as well as see how I look under the hood and build the plan for the week ahead. So I look forward to that. It is Saturday morning, New York time, 8:30 a.m. So wherever you are in the world, look that up and come join me. Email me at warrensnacks@gmail.com and I will send you the live Zoom link. All right, guys, stay safe, manage your risk. Let's go make some money. I'll see you soon.